The year 2026 has opened with a striking change in Canadian political tone. Instead of the usual post-holiday focus on domestic issues, leaders sent a unified message to the U.S. Ontario Premier Doug Ford at a Toronto press conference, addressed Donald Trump's latest statements head-on. Ford's remarks weren't routine. They marked a new, more assertive approach to unpredictable U.S. foreign policy. Gone is the old caution. Canadian leaders now present a direct, united front. This shift comes as the world still feels the aftershocks of Trump's first term and his ongoing influence. While Ford spoke in Canada, Mark Carney, former Bank of Canada and Bank of England governor, was in Paris, echoing similar concerns with European leaders. The catalyst? Trump's renewed talk of annexing Greenland, which has pushed allies to move from uncertainty to action. Canada's leadership is now at the forefront of a strategic recalibration, publicly projecting strength while quietly building alliances. This dual approach signals a new seriousness in Ottawa and the provinces. Policymakers are no longer just hoping for the best, they're preparing for every scenario to protect Canada's interests. The era of diplomatic hedging is over. Pragmatism and unity now define Canada's foreign policy. Leaders are openly discussing threats and articulating a clear national interest. This analysis will explore Ford's press conference, Carney's European diplomacy, and what this means for Canada's global role. The focus, a shift from reaction to readiness, from anxiety to action. Premier Doug Ford's January 6 press conference marked a sharp break from his previous caution regarding Donald Trump. In the past, Ford and other Canadian politicians tiptoed around Trump, prioritizing economic stability over confrontation. This time, Ford was direct and unapologetic. When asked about Trump's threats of tariffs and talk of annexing Greenland, Ford didn't deflect. "Let me be crystal clear," he said. "We are a nation of laws. The world operates on rules. Annexing a sovereign nation is not a serious proposal." Ford's statement shifted the conversation from personalities to principles, international law and sovereignty. This new directness isn't about picking a fight, it's about setting boundaries. By invoking global norms, Ford rejected Trump's ideas without personal attacks. Canada's position is now rooted in foundational principles, not political alignment. This clarity gives Canada a solid platform for future negotiations. The message: Canada's leadership is united and won't be swayed by rhetorical pressure. By establishing a baseline of principles, leaders can respond to future provocations with consistency. Canada stands for a rules-based order, respects sovereignty, and will protect its interests. This approach reduces uncertainty and strengthens Canada's negotiating hand. It's a sustainable, robust strategy for unpredictable times. The era of ambiguity is over. Canada's stance is clear. Trump's talk of annexing Greenland, once dismissed, now serves as a test case for Canada's new assertiveness. Greenland's proximity and Arctic significance make this more than a curiosity for Canada. In the past, such comments might have been quietly ignored. Now Canadian officials use them to clarify their stance on sovereignty and international law. Ford stated, "Greenland is part of Denmark. Its people have a right to self-determination. Arctic sovereignty is not for sale." This shows solidarity with Denmark and ties the issue to Canada's own Arctic concerns. Canada is making it clear, any challenge to regional order will meet a unified response. This proactive stance turns destabilizing rhetoric into strategic clarity. By taking the issue seriously, Canada reaffirms its commitment to a stable, rules-based Arctic. The message is simple: Canada defends not just its own interests, but the system that ensures security for all. The Greenland example rallies support and makes the stakes clear. While Ford spoke in Toronto, Mark Carney was in Paris, advancing Canada's two-track strategy: public resolve and private diplomacy. Carney's meetings with European finance leaders were no coincidence. They're part of a coordinated effort to counter economic threats. The focus: building a unified front against protectionism and arbitrary tariffs. Canada and Europe share vulnerabilities to America First policies. By aligning, they create a more stable trade environment and a stronger negotiating bloc. Carney, as a respected former central banker, frames the issue as one of global financial stability, not just politics. This depoliticizes the conversation and emphasizes practical defensive measures. The message isn't anti-American, it's pro-stability. Canada and its European partners are forming a coalition to uphold the international economic order. This coalition is defensive, aiming to preserve free and fair trade. Carney's efforts ensure Canada's public statements are backed by real international support. This collective strength is central to Canada's new, confident posture. Doug Ford emphasized national unity, framing his statements as a pan-Canadian consensus. "This isn't about one province or party. We're all Team Canada," Ford declared. This unity quiets partisan divisions and elevates the issue to a matter of national interest. Coming from a premier of a different political stripe than the Prime Minister, it's a powerful signal. United, Canada's federal and provincial governments present a stronger front in negotiations. Externally, this unity tells the US that Canada cannot be divided and conquered. Ford's coordination with the Prime Minister's office preempts attempts to exploit political divisions. This approach draws on lessons from past trade disputes, like the USMCA negotiations. Canada's strength comes from speaking with one voice. Ford's rhetoric helps institutionalize a more robust, collaborative model for Canadian statecraft. The most notable change is Canada's shift from reactive to prepared. In the past, Trump's provocations triggered anxiety and crisis meetings in Ottawa. Now, leaders calmly execute pre-planned strategies. Ford's press conference wasn't an emergency, it was a demonstration of readiness. "We don't operate on worry, we operate on preparedness," Ford said. The message: Canada has contingency plans and is ready for any scenario. This language reassures the public and markets that Canada isn't caught off guard. Mark Carney's quiet diplomacy in Paris is part of this proactive approach. The focus is on long-term alignment and joint economic defense, not reacting to headlines. This posture projects confidence and stability, deterring economic coercion. Canada is now an active manager of its interests, not a passive observer. By consistently communicating readiness, leaders create a more stable environment for business and investment. The message: Canada can't control foreign rhetoric, but it can control its own preparedness. Canada and Europe now share a common cause in facing America First policies. European nations, especially export-driven ones, have faced similar pressures. Fragmented responses have proven ineffective. Coordination is key. Mark Carney's mission in Paris formalizes this growing transatlantic consensus. The agenda: share information, coordinate policy, and develop joint defenses against protectionism. The goal isn't to isolate the US, but to build a resilient global economic system. This alignment extends to security. Canada and Europe reaffirm NATO's value and collective security. By standing with Denmark on Greenland, Canada reinforces alliance solidarity. Strengthening ties with the EU diversifies Canada's alliances and reduces over-reliance on the US. This strategic depth marks a mature, balanced approach to world affairs. Canada's new posture is backed by real action and planning. After the trade volatility of Trump's first term, policymakers reviewed economic vulnerabilities and mapped critical supply chains. Scenario planning now guides responses to tariffs or trade disruptions. Government and industry work together to diversify markets and strengthen domestic supply chains. This public-private partnership boosts economic resilience. Diplomats like Carney harmonize regulations and coordinate with allies for crisis response. Behind-the-scenes diplomacy ensures Canada isn't alone when it takes a stand. The result: a foundation of readiness supporting Canada's confident new stance. Canada's leaders now match words with tangible strategic action. In conclusion, 2026 marks a turning point in Canada's approach to the US and the world. The era of reactive diplomacy is over. Calm, strategic readiness is the new norm. Coordinated messaging and diplomacy are part of a comprehensive, years-in-the-making strategy. Canada's response to Trump's rhetoric illustrates this evolution: principled, not panicked. The message: Canada won't be provoked by words but is fully prepared to defend its interests. This isn't antagonism, it's pragmatic adaptation to a volatile world. True security comes from preparation and strong alliances, especially with Europe. Canada is now a mature, reliable actor, defined by unity and planning, not fear. By focusing on readiness, Canada charts a stable course through global uncertainty. The strategy: less rhetoric, more resolve.